Welcome to this summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear. In this video, we'll explore the power of small habits and how they can lead to big changes. Please note that this is just a summary of the book, and if you would like to learn more, we encourage you to find the book at all major retailers. If you enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe and like button below to stay up to date with our latest book reviews. Section 1: The Power of Identity-Based Habits. One of the key concepts in the book is the idea of identity-based habits. Clear suggests that in order to make lasting changes, we need to focus on changing our identity first, and then our habits. This means that instead of simply trying to perform a new behavior, we need to view ourselves as the kind of person who performs that behavior. For example, instead of trying to become a runner, we need to think of ourselves as a runner, and then take the necessary actions to make that identity a reality. This approach leads to lasting changes and can be applied to any habit we want to develop. Clear uses the example of a smoker who is trying to quit. Instead of simply trying to quit smoking, the smoker needs to view themselves as a non-smoker. They need to change their identity to someone who doesn't smoke, and then take the necessary actions to make that identity a reality. By focusing on changing their identity first, the smoker is more likely to make lasting changes and avoid falling back into old habits. Section 2: Small Changes for Big Results. Clear emphasizes the importance of making small changes that are easy to implement and maintain. He argues that big changes are often unsustainable and that it's the small things we do every day that ultimately shape our lives. By focusing on small, incremental changes, we can make significant improvements over time. The book introduces the 2-minute rule, which is all about breaking down habits into small, 2-minute tasks. The idea is that by starting small, it's easier to build momentum and make progress over time. This approach helps to develop a sense of achievement, which can help to motivate us to continue making progress towards our goals. Clear uses the example of reading to illustrate the power of small habits. Instead of trying to read a book a week, we can focus on reading just 1 page per day. By starting small and building momentum, we can eventually develop a habit of reading every day, which can lead to significant improvements in our knowledge and understanding of the world. Section 3: Design Your Environment for Success. Clear emphasizes the importance of making good habits easy and bad habits hard. By designing our environment in a way that supports the habits we want to develop, it's easier to stick to them. The book also explains that self-control is not about willpower or discipline, but about designing our environment in a way that makes good habits easier and bad habits harder. The author suggests that by removing the temptations that lead us astray, we can make it easier to stick to the habits we want to develop. This approach helps us to maintain consistency and stay on track towards our goals. Clear uses the example of healthy eating to illustrate the power of designing our environment. By keeping healthy snacks on hand and removing unhealthy options from our pantry, we can make it easier to eat healthy. By making healthy habits easier and unhealthy habits harder, we can make significant improvements to our health and well-being. Section 4: Plateaus and How to Overcome Them. The book also discusses the idea of plateaus and how to overcome them. Clear suggests that when we hit a plateau, it's often because we're not challenging ourselves enough or because we're not being consistent with our habits. He suggests that by making small adjustments and focusing on the process, we can break through the plateau and continue making progress. The book provides various strategies to overcome plateaus, including changing the environment, increasing the difficulty of the habit, and adding new habits to our routine. These strategies help us to maintain progress and avoid getting stuck in a rut. Clear uses the example of weightlifting to illustrate the power of overcoming plateaus. When we hit a plateau in weightlifting, we can increase the weight we lift or change up our routine to continue challenging ourselves. By making small adjustments and focusing on the process, we can continue making progress towards our goals. Section 5: The Importance of Tracking Progress. Clear emphasizes the importance of tracking progress towards our goals. By keeping track of our habits and the progress we've made, we can stay motivated and continue making progress. The book provides various ways to track progress, including habit trackers and scorecards. Clear suggests that by tracking our progress, we can see the impact of our habits over time, and adjust our approach as needed to achieve our goals. Clear uses the example of a writer to illustrate the power of tracking progress. By setting a goal of writing 500 words per day and tracking their progress, a writer can see the impact of their habits over time. They can see how their writing improves and how they get closer to finishing their book. By tracking their progress, the writer can stay motivated and continue making progress towards their goal. Conclusion. In conclusion, Atomic Habits is a practical and actionable guide to developing good habits and breaking bad ones. By focusing on small, incremental changes, the book shows how anyone can make significant improvements over time. By changing our identity, designing our environment, and focusing on small, daily habits, we can build the kind of life we want to live. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe and like button below to stay up to date with our latest book reviews. And if you want to learn more about developing good habits, we encourage you to purchase Atomic Habits at all major retailers. Thanks for watching.